I just want to make this clear. There's nothing out there that's actually concerning. People will make everything seem very concerning.
Genuinely, what is the mainstream media doing at this point? Even after easily beating these empty scandals and winning the Democratic primary, Graham Platner is fielding even more harassment, only for progressives to rally behind the man and deliver a fantastic result. And so what do the establishment Democrats do? Immediately try to give the Republicans dirt on their own candidate.
We do not talk about the fact that I know someone in my hometown here who works 3 jobs and pays over 60% of her monthly income in rent. I think that matters a lot more than the details of my relationship before I ran for United States Senate. That's just me.
Okay, so then let me ask you this way. Can you just talk about the nature of the sexting in terms of, can you call for the release of the Epstein files? And can you call out those who have abused women and not be conflicted in any way?
Yes, of course. I mean, I engaged in consensual romantic activities with adults at an earlier part in my life. That seems like a fairly normal thing most people do. Going to an island with billionaires to possibly assault is a vastly, vastly different thing.
Yeah.
What an absolutely disgusting set of questions to ask, as if there's any form of equivalence between sexting and the Epstein files. I mean, what the hell kind of standard are they trying to set? Only for progressives, not liberals, centrists, or conservatives. Mika herself and her co-host husband, Joe, started loving on each other while married to other people. And while they claimed that there was no overlap between those relationships, you know who was claiming that there was a salacious scandal? Trump. But of course, this is a lie. It's ridiculous. But when Trump says that Graham Platner is a bad man, all of a sudden we trust him? I don't understand the standard that Graham is guilty of breaking. Like, listen to the way Abby Phillips characterizes it on CNN.
We have watched for a decade as Republicans have repeatedly lowered the threshold, lowered the standards for their candidates, and now Democrats are going to keep holding our candidates to an infinitely higher standard while we have Ken Paxton in Texas, while we have Donald Trump sitting in the Oval Office right now, and I guess it remains to be seen, but I also want to rephrase.
Is it a high standard or is it a low standard?
Listen,
because I'm not sure that he's being held to a higher standard than anybody else.
Well, but the Republican Party is absolutely holding him to a higher standard than they hold their own candidate.
Does the mainstream media not know who they are? There has not been a standard for a very long time. It's been nothing but lies to cover bloody hands from people like Van Jones here, who thinks that he has the moral high ground to lecture anyone.
And so now this party's got to look in the mirror. Do you want to sign off on the Donald Trump standard of behavior? You got some other people who have very bad behavior in the other party. Is that now our standard in this party, or is it not? And I think people are going to have a tough choice in May.
The media is clearly dead set on convincing everyone that Graham is definitely a bad person, and there's no reason to even look deeply into the allegations. Just trust us. But all of these scandals are so weak, it's shocking that they think people are going to care about this. Like, the Washington Post put this out today as if they needed a timeline to understand the breadth of these controversies. And in reality, they all sum up to, well, there were some rumors that we couldn't verify. That's the whole thing. And now they're putting at the end of this, don't worry, they have until the 13th for him to drop out. He's not going to drop out. They're trying to worm that into the brains of the people. They've put their best on it, spittin' Sean Spicer, who's focused on the one verifiable bad thing that Graham did, which is get that damn tattoo. And to be fair, that was very bad. Like, thankfully he got that covered up. But they are desperate to make it seem like he knew for sure that he was getting a hate symbol. Spicer asks, where are the other Marines if he just did it accidentally? Shouldn't they come forward? Well, Sweaty Sean is in luck because a Marine was asked why they got that tattoo, and he verified that they did indeed drunkenly get them in Croatia, not knowing what they were. An unfortunately very common occurrence, especially for 20-year-old Marines who curse like sailors. Zateo asked a fellow Marine on Friday, And he responded, "No, we did not purposefully get fucking hateful shit because we're racist people," he said. "We got matching tattoos because we were in our 20s, drunk in Croatia, and that's it. That's all that fucking happened." So, are the Marines politically correct? No. But I think that we all learned that correct doesn't work very well. Because while we go high, they go very, very low. And what the Democrats usually mean by high is wealthy, pre-approved, and connected enough to hide their skeletons. So how exactly is Graham Platner below the current Democratic standard? Alyssa CIA Slotkin alluded today that this was light work compared to her skeletons. Asked whether Platner needs to do more to address his past scandals, Slotkin simply replied, "I just hope I'm not caught again live on TV answering the same questions about bad behavior." This is why I get frustrated when I see progressives conceding the framing to conservatives. They're too scared to look into the facts of the situation and stand on business instead of admitting that Platner is a bad guy and a risky pick, and that we just need to pinch our noses and deal with it.
When it comes to the substance of this reporting, obviously there's a lot in that behavior that's really challenging. It's hard to stomach, in some of it. But at the end of the day, I think that this is a choice. If the choice on the ballot is between that and a senator who's voted to take health care away from millions of Americans, that's the situation that we have to weigh.
Or maybe we use this as a moment to call out false equivalency, instead of allowing Republicans to hide behind the both sides argument. By taking a soft approach here, AOC, although I am a fan, don't get me wrong, legitimizes the establishment's main argument, and in turn does a lot of work for them in giving their smear campaign momentum right off the jump. Bernie Sanders told Politico, Republican super PACs have already lined up some $99 million just on TV ads to defeat Graham. Why is that? Think they're worried about what his relationship to women has been? I don't think so. What they are worried about is how he is going to be a strong voice against oligarchy. I think that we have to remember that we are hiring a representative with elections here. They are our employees at the end of the day. Would cheating on your wife lose you your job? Would having a physical argument with an ex-girlfriend 20 years ago lose you your job? That is the standard that they want you to accept, that us normal people are defined by our worst days, while they, the elite, can have diddy parties on private islands and no one sees 1 second of jail time. Well, we're done with that. We want a real person, warts and all, because we believe in redemption.
Redemption is not just some simple or easy destination. It's a journey. I've made mistakes in my life, mistakes that I regret, that I live with, and that I continue to learn from. And I'm still far from perfect. But every day, I wake up and I try to be a little bit better and a little bit kinder than I was the day before. And if you give me the chance, I will be a senator for the people who cannot afford to buy a senator.
Democratic socialism has social justice at its core, and every single one of us is guilty of something, yet we all deserve redemption. We get to decide when a person is redeemed, not the billionaire media, the people. This is U.S. Democratic Socialists. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.